Hi, I'm Carmen, and this is the Miscellaneous Vegan, where I share a lot of R&R recipes and reviews. And today we're going to be making a vegan tiramisu chia pudding. So stay tuned. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you like and subscribe for recipes and reviews in New York City and around the world, for Coaching Mondays and the occasional Saturday vlogs. So the first thing you want to make is your coffee. If you don't have it, you're going to want to make your espresso coffee. You can do instant coffee, but I prefer to make fresh espresso using my Yeti French press. If you do not know how to use a French press, here it is. I will show you. If you do, you can just fast forward to the ingredients. But I love to use my Yeti to make the coffee. You just pour in boiling water. After you pour in your coffee grounds, you stir it up, and then you wait 7 minutes, and then you press it down. Let's get into the ingredients while we let the coffee brew in the French press. So here is the cocoa powder that you will need, vanilla extract, maple syrup, cinnamon, and your chia seeds. Then in addition, you will need yogurt. I am using this particular yogurt, and that's all you need. But I actually am adding a little bit of probiotics, which is using 2 tablespoons of this coconut coat. This is optional. It's not necessary, but I choose to do that, okay? So we're going to press the coffee now that it's ready. And all you have to do is press very, slowly, and then your coffee will be ready. You pour it out, and you let it come down to room temperature. Do not use this hot coffee to make this pudding. So you're going to use the entire container of this yogurt. You can use whichever brand you prefer, but this is the brand I prefer. It does have vanilla, it does have cinnamon, so it's going to give it an extra flavor. You can use plain, but that's your choice. I prefer to use this vanilla yogurt in addition to the coconut coat. This is optional again. I'm using 2 tablespoons of the coconut coat for the probiotic benefits. The next ingredient will be the coffee. So at this point, the coffee should be at room temperature. I did make this coffee several hours before I even began recording, so just take note of that. I didn't record, but I placed 3 tablespoons of the chia seeds. You can reduce it. I usually do. I probably just use 1 to 2, but in this recipe here, I use 3. And I'm using 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. That is because I have reduced my ingredients, okay? My sugar intake. And that's 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I will have the recipe below. You guys can just click it and enjoy. It's a free recipe. And then I use some cinnamon. And that's all you need. You stir it until all the ingredients mix in. But just take note that I only use 2 tablespoons of maple syrup because I am trying to reduce my sugar intake. When I first made this recipe, I used 4 to 5 tablespoons of maple syrup. And for some people, that is going to be too much. For some people, that's not even going to be enough sweetness. But just take note that you can adjust the recipe to your liking. If you don't like cinnamon, then you wouldn't add cinnamon. I actually sometimes add a pinch of nutmeg in this, but that is my preference. So the recipe is to what I use. So I have these coconut containers. Why? I'm going to reuse them because it's glass. It's kind of like these little mason jars. Instead of me purchasing mason jars, here you have it. I already have them. And this portion makes enough for 1 coconut container. But for the purposes of the video and for the purposes of what I wanted to use it for, excuse me, I spread it to 2 containers. You don't need to do this. You can just make 1 serving. But I did. So now we put it in the refrigerator and we wait a couple of hours. After a couple of hours, that is what it's going to look like. Nice and thick. And then we're going to use the coconut powder to sprinkle on top. That's the only reason you need the coconut powder, to just make it look nice and make it look like a tiramisu. And that is it. The recipe is very simple. It only takes a couple of minutes to mix in. and maybe a few hours for you to leave it in the refrigerator. I actually left it overnight, so that's your choice, your preference. Make it at night and then have it in the morning as a dessert or your breakfast. I like it as a dessert or a breakfast, but because it has the probiotics, I do use it for like breaking my fast. But there you have it, guys, your vegan tiramisu chia pudding. And I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you comment down below, and always remember, sweeties, be real, not perfect. Bye.